Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of Strange Confessions that I didn't ask for, but I love to hear them. It's the one and only Weird DMs. I do a little hand gesture like that because I'm assuming the editor knows. Text. Weird DMs. If you've never seen this before, just follow along because I think you'll get the idea pretty quickly. Let's get into it.
You know how you spot a friend on Tinder and swipe right for a laugh? I did that with a friend of mine, Michael. I get a message from my friend Michael via Tinder asking if I want to come do LSD with him. I figure, why not? I ask where he's at and he sends me the address. I get to the house, knock on the door, and this dude answers. The man is visibly dirty and smells a bit. I ask if Michael is home and he says, yeah, come in. I go in and this house smells like full-on month-old dog piss. It is a literal hoarder's den with rotting junk piled high around it. I'm sitting here with this fucking guy just waiting and he's staring at me. I say, so where's Michael at? The guy laughs a bit and says, I'm Michael. I very quickly realize what I've done. Earlier that week, I matched with another dude named Michael and didn't realize that I was actually messaging him, not my friend. I'm not gonna lie, I was smoking a lot of weed at the time and had the attention detail of a wombat on a highway because of it.
Wow, that is a phrase straight out of a fucking 40-year-old Midwesterner. I had about as much focus as wombat on a highway.
This wrong Michael started to act a little weird, so I acted fast. I told him I had had epilepsy, I don't, and that I forgot my medication at home and had to go get it.
Wow, that is quick thinking.
Before doing the LSD, I told him I lived around the corner and I'd be right back. He asked if I wanted him to come with, but by that point I was running so fast out the door I think he got the hint. I got home, about an hour later the guy sent me a message. If you didn't like me, you could have just said. Pretty crazy to lie like that.
So crazy to have a stinky house and get mad at someone for not liking you. Damn. I'm just glad you're alive. That could have gone bad. Either that or you would have just been there doing LSD and that guy would have been explaining to you why he kept all that stuff in his house. I guess don't Tinder with influence. Always make sure you're sober while Tindering. Now wait a second, why is my hair so crispy and nice? That's because I'm getting ready to go to New Zealand. Actually, by the time you're seeing this, I'm in Auckland because I'm doing a show, because I'm starting my tour, which you can buy a ticket for at noelmillerlive.com. I'm starting in New Zealand, and then I'm going all through Australia. You can still buy your tickets for that now. And then after that, I got a bunch of brand new cities I added in the U.S., and I'm going back to Canada. Shout out to Toronto. It's already almost sold out. Don't sleep on it. Buy a ticket now. Okay, let's get back into these weird DMs.
I work in a research lab, and there are different types of research that we do. Unfortunately, this lab work is done on animals, specifically rodents.
I heard a collective, who really likes rodents, though? I mean, what qualifies as a rodent? If you're experimenting on possums, look, I might be in the minority here, but possum experiments, possums look like blind alligators with a pig growing out the back of their spine. So, I don't know how much uglier those things can get, if I'm being honest.
We have to euthanize these animals at the completion of the experiment.
Oh, and now everybody's sad again. I just did all that riffing and now it's sad again. Unless you don't like rodents, in which case you're like, I'm okay with it.
We have to euthanize these animals at the completion of the experiments because it is the most ethical thing to do after running all these tests. Well, I found out not everyone euthanizes the same way my specific lab does. My lab neighbor asked if I wanted to see the way they euthanize, and I mistakenly said yes. I go into the lab, and I see a tiny guillotine.
Guillotine, 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 guillotine. Which one is it? I think the French would say, ow.
Aye.
That was bad.
I go into the lab and see a tiny guillotine, and no warning whatsoever. In the blink of an eye, they deschmapitate their research animal. Still haunts me to this day.
Wow, that is brutal. That's horrific. And now this confession is not fun, and I'm sorry you had to see that. I do put a little bit of responsibility on you if you're working in a lab where they research on animals, and someone goes, you want to see the way we euthanize? You should have read the excitement in that person. You should have. Should is a dangerous word, all right? Should can lead to a lot of mental blocks. However, I'm going to abandon that piece of positive thinking and say, you should have known when someone who works at a research lab, mind you, you work at a research lab with animals. If you have a coworker that's like, you want to see how we euthanize? You should have known what was going on. You should have looked deep you could have made some assumptions that what was about to be shown to you was going to be horrible. Because, well, let's put it like this. Let's get out of the research lab and let's go to a fast food establishment. If your coworker looks at you and says, "You want to see what we do to the fillet of fish?" You already know there's something in your body that says this guy is about to throw this shit on the ground and then put it in someone's meal. You know what I mean? By the way, if you work at a fast food establishment, I've heard what you guys do. You guys throw the meat on the ground, you put your shoe on it, you scrub it back and forth, you pick it back up, you put it back in the sandwich, and that's just if you breathe wrong at the drive-thru. And they were doing this back in 2014 when the economy wasn't where it's at now. So if you're getting fast food now, you have to know that they're putting your McChicken chicken patty between someone's ass cheek. They're rubbing it. They're rubbing it on someone's lower back, just dipping into the top crack before they're putting it in your sandwich. You got to know that. But let me get back to my point. Every workplace has a sick coworker. Maybe you're younger in your career, so you don't know this yet, and you found out the hard way. But lesson to everybody. Wherever you work, if someone goes, "You want to see how we do," and whatever follows, I think you should always say yes, because you should know what is going on at your company. You should always say yes. I'm not telling you to, put the horse blinders on, but you should also know that what you're about to discover is going to be reality breaking. So, I'm sorry you had to see that, but I also think you should have known what was coming.
So this happened while I was going to college in Florida, so you know it's real. I was a sophomore at a party and this freshman girl comes up to me and is being super flirty, playing with my hair and being super touchy. And before we can really start chatting, my homie comes up and drops one of the wildest quote pickup lines I've ever heard. He said, "This guy's so cool, he's got the dopest tattoo. It's of an elephant. The ears are on his lower belly and the trunk is..." Then he walks away. Somehow this doesn't deter her and instead she goes, "Really? Can I see?" Obviously I don't have that tattoo, so I tell her that and she says she's an art major and offer to sketch it on for me.
Wow. Got to give it to the art majors, with the right niche, that spectrum is going to jump out. That spectrum is going to latch itself to you. Would you be interested in a really intricate line art piece in a private part of your body? I think that would not only be so powerful, but also so empowering.
She asked me to drive her back to my place, but I can't because I rode my bicycle, so instead, we Uber. We hook up that night and a few more times over the next couple weeks before I break my phone and things just kind of fizzle out. Fast forward a few months and I'm home for Christmas talking to my uncle, my dad's sister's husband. He asks if I know a insert generic name, and I'm like, yeah, a few, and not thinking of her immediately. He tells me she's his niece and that they have the same last name. I'm like, no, but I'll meet her, it's a small school. Well, I get back and guess who follows me on Instagram and likes a ton of my pictures? It's the elephant girl. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna slide in her DMs and get things going again. When I notice her last name, lo and behold, it's the same as my uncle. As I look into her page more, I find a pic of her and my uncle together at her high school graduation.
So I slid in her DMs again anyway.
And we hooked up for another month. Never told her. I hope she never realized. He visits me down in Florida still sometimes and always asks if I met her, and I just play dumb and hope we never end up at the same family function.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, if it ain't blood. Oh my God. Some of you guys are real fuckers, man. That's something else, dude. That's something else. So I slid in her DMs anyway. Wow. I need a second to process that. Now let me tell you something, man. Based on your behavior, I'm gonna just warn you, okay? This type of mentality is going to get you in trouble at work. You're going to start pursuing supervisors. You sound like the type of guy that goes after other people's girlfriends. So I'm just going to caution you, man, because your brain doesn't recognize certain taboos. So I feel the need to say it to you now that you're being open and honest with us. I want to be transparent with you. You're a cousin. You can't escape that now. Even though it's not blood related, on paper, you're a tried and true cousin. So I need you to remember that. And just as you move about society, use that as a way to check yourself. You know, when you're about to do something crazy, look in the mirror and remind yourself, say, let me not go there, because I am a cousin and I know what I'm capable of. Let me just stay home, okay? The fact that you didn't tell her is unbelievable, man. You're like, jokes aside, that is horrific, bro. That is so fucking nasty and bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's a part of me that thinks she knows. You know? Look, man, if I knew you in real life, I would tell you this. Genuinely, I think you should let her know. I think that'd be the right thing to do. Say, hey, I was afraid to tell you before because I had a lot of fun and I think you're great. But it's been on my mind. We're cousins. And just see what she says, you know. I think that'd be an honorable thing to do. So that's just from me to you, bro.
During what felt like the hottest day of the year, we were cleaning this big Christian getaway cabin mansion. Probably for the altar boys, you know?
I don't know.
And I'd been having raunchy, hot farts all day. Pushing them and everything.
God dang, man. Look, I'm fine with whatever. I'm fine with whatever, but the way you worded that, I don't know. I've seen enough things on the internet that most things don't faze me. I think I'm a little desensitized, but I don't know why. The way you wrote that just made me fucking coil up, man. Hot, raunchy, and pushing them. I think it's because it sounds like you took pleasure in it. You make it sound like you're like smiling as you do it, like you're just giving a little. Can I get into the Christian altar boys cabin real quick? Appreciate it. You're a freak.
I'd been told to go sweep this living room where no one had been yet, and to make myself laugh a little, I pushed a fart that felt really bubbly.
You're a nasty ass person. What the hell are you talking about? And just to give myself a chuckle, I decided to push out a wet one. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Maybe there's something I'm missing here, but are people farting for their own personal entertainment? That's disgusting if you are. I've never actually known anyone that is farting alone, just for chucks. Farts are funny. They're definitely hilarious, but usually there's an audience, right? But now I'm having a moment where maybe I haven't been farting for the love of the game. Maybe I've been too focused on pleasing others with my farts when I really needed to be doing them for myself this whole time. So maybe there's a deeper lesson here about identity and stuff.
It wasn't a fart. I immediately felt the hot liquid slowly make its way out of my butt.
All right. All right.
And start down. I panicked. I immediately shut one of the 2 sliding doors and looked around the room. My first thought was to grab a sofa cushion, wipe it off, and flip the cushion to the other side.
That is so foul, dude. I would have liked if you did that, though, because it would have lended to your character. A sick, depraved human.
My boss then said something that scared me. Call it to my coworker. Can you get,
I guess this person's name is Pendrick? Nice, dude. Yeah, dude. Oh, you're so cool, man. Oh, you're Pendrick. Pendrick Lamar. Yeah. Dude, you're sick. Your boys call you Pendrick Lamar? John Blinkerton? Johnny Carter? Huh? There's no even, you didn't have to change that one. That one's just for free.
Can you go get Pendrick to help us with the wood pile? I didn't know what to do, and as I was standing still, my coworkers slid open the closed door.
Kind of like your ass cheeks, they just... Alright.
We met eye contact, and after what felt like forever, he said, "Hey, the boss wants you to sweep over here." I just nod. He walks away, and that's when I see it. A very expensive hand towel on the kitchen counter. I take 3 butt-clenched long steps to and fro.
To and fro. I hate you. I hate you. What is with this, like, old-timey... And there it was, an expensive hand towel. And with my butt cheeks clenched, I wobbled to and fro forward into the kitchen, wherein I scrubbed my buttocks clean with that brand new kitchen towel.
I do the unthinkable. I pull down my shorts, wipe all the shart out of there, perfectly fold the hand towel, and place it on a bookcase with other stuff. Which, it kind of fit in because there was other random stuff on the bookshelf. After this, I take off my hoodie, wrap it around my waist, speed walk to the closest bathroom, and close the door. I checked in the mirror if it was bad enough to keep the hoodie around my waist, and sure as shit, no pun intended, there was a yellow-brown Y-shaped stain.
Oh, your ass looked like the Y Combinator logo. or maybe it's the old Yahoo logo. I can't remember.
Pretty much from here, I kept the hoodie around my waist, covering my backside, until I got home, where I rightfully threw the shorts away. Lesson learned, don't push farts.
I mean, yeah, bro. Serves you right. I don't think any of us are empathetic to you. Now that I've had a moment to think, I've realized, I've pushed for personal enjoyment. I've been gaming and just slipped one out to be funny. Just a little whatever. But you should always do that in the comfort of your own home. You got to know when you're public pushing, when you're pushing pee. I don't know, man. You should always be near a bathroom at least. So again, this strikes me as a young guy's story, and you've definitely learned. When you're a veteran pusher, you know your limits, and you learned your limits on that day. Absolutely horrible story, man. Thank you.
I'm just going to get right to it. I was studying abroad during the height of COVID. During winter break, I was staying with some friends and we decided to go clubbing. 4 tequila shots and a bottle of soju in. It's only like 9 p.m. and everything is shutting down because of COVID restrictions.
That sounds like a fucking indie lyric, doesn't it? 4 tequila shots and a bottle of soju in. It's only like 9 p.m. and everything is shutting down because of COVID restrictions.
I've been dancing with this random guy and had decided to go hook up with him. The second I get outside the club, I feel like I'm on the verge of pissing myself. And I start beelining it to the nearest bathroom.
I said it that way because it was B-E-E. I never even thought about how that's spelled. Beelining. I always thought it was just the letter B. Because I'm an idiot and illiterate.
The problem is, because everything is just closed, the streets are busy as and the closest bathroom is like a 10-minute walk away. As I'm walking with this dude, my legs suddenly start to feel weirdly warm, and I realize I just started pissing myself in the middle of the street. 19, drunk off my ass, freezing cold, and now covered in piss, I naturally start crying.
That's the sound of your formidable years in Europe. I think every European and every Londoner actually has probably gone through this experience. I wouldn't say Americans, not walking through a busy street with a pants full of piss. Maybe a cornfield, maybe a small town downtown, but not a busy European street. Nothing as beautiful as that.
I've been wearing black tights, and he was a lot taller than me. And also equally wasted, so somehow he didn't notice. Again, I'm drunk, so instead of just going home, we go to the hotel anyways. I immediately run and take a shower before we get down to business. And the second he puts it in, he tells me that not only does he love me, but he's a virgin.
Oh boy.
We continue on. I'm on top of this man in dead silence, staring at the ceiling. I ask if he's okay. And he suddenly pushes me off and runs to the bathroom, where I hear him puking his guts out.
I love you.
Not knowing what to do, I get all my shit and go back to my place, where I drunkenly call and break up with my at-the-time boyfriend, who I'd found out a few days prior had a girlfriend the entire time we were together and was currently on a trip to England. I was told it was a solo trip. I found out because a video of him and his girlfriend kissing had come up on my TikTok, but that's a whole other story. 10 out of 10 most embarrassing moment of my life.
Thanks for the story, pissy pants. The last time I pissed my pants, I was 9 years old. Similar situation. I was actually with family, and we went to the beach on like a day where it was like pouring rain. Ironically enough, it was pissing out there. We were at this arcade, and I really had to piss, and the bathrooms were closed. and there were no bathrooms open on the beach. They were all closed. And we were running back from the arcade to the van that we had all piled in. And as I'm running down the boardwalk, my bladder could hold no more, and I just pissed myself. Luckily, the rain soaked in and made it smell twice as bad in the car. Everyone smelled like wet dogs. So I rode home in the pissy pants, but everyone was wet at that point, so it was a little piss on top anyway. Plus, these are California beaches, so guaranteed there was all kinds of piss absorbed into the atmosphere and dropped back down on us. So I can't quite empathize, though. What an insane moment to have just pissed yourself and then have a guy go, "I love you," and then start yakking it up. I think you did the right thing. Get the fuck out of there. Because I don't think anyone wants that. 3 seconds in, "I love you." Whoa. Time to go. Well, folks, that's going to do it for today's video. Remember, you can always send in your riveting confessions at nocapallfacts on jesuschrist@gmail.com. Can't wait to see you for the next one. Goodbye.